Okay. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for dealing with this new virtual reality. I hope you're all staying safe and well and getting some fresh air when you can. Oops, I forgot to mute the speakers. Let me do that. Okay. Okay. So maybe changing the cross of your legs, your habitual pattern of crossing. If you want to sit up on something to allow you to sit a little bit more forward on your sitting bones so you can allow for a curve in your back, natural curves. Lift the bones behind the ears. Inhale, breathe wide, front and back. And just take a moment to close your eyes. Inhaling for a count of 4. And then exhaling for a count of 4. Inhale for a count of 4. And add a pause. Exhale for a count of 4. And add a pause at the bottom. Inhale. Hold the breath in. Exhale. And hold the breath out. Try to start breathing in and out through the nose. Notice the alignment of the ears over the shoulders and the shoulders over the hip joint. Slightly drop your chin and lift the back of the skull and slide your head back. With each exhale, just a little bit of support for the curves of your spine by drawing the side waist muscles in. So some of you who were with me early in the week have already heard this. My theme for the week is feeling strength and hope. Now, more than ever, hope is our power source. Hope is not just a wish. It inspires strength in all of us. Hope can be a life-supporting force that gives us more control how each day unfolds. It is a source of inner strength. The most important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. So we'll set our intention to ignite the power of hope in our lives and see that anything is possible. You can take a deep breath in, gently blink the eyes open, and inhale, circle your arms around and up. Exhale, draw your hands back to the heart. Inhale, arms around and up. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Fingertips to the floor. Take a side bend. Rooting down through your left hip. Come back and up and over. Reaching with the right, rooting down through the right sitting bone. Inhale, bring both arms up and stretch palms towards the sky. Pull the fingers away from each other like you're trying to break the webbing to feel the power in the back, not in the neck. Even here, try to turn your armpits in towards each other and lift the back ribs. Just little presses back, trying to get that flexion at the head of the arm bone. And take it down and up. As you reach the hands back, try not to let the ribs come up with you. So pull the ribs down as you reach the hands up. Good. And then release the hands behind your back. Inhale, you can press your knuckles to the floor behind you. Find a little back bend and an opening through the front of the chest. Good. And then release, hands to the floor. Walk your hands over to the right. Hug your navel in. Back to center and over to the left. Hug your navel in. And then back to center, stacking the vertebrae. Let's change the cross of the legs for some twists. Inhale, arms around and up. Exhale, vertical twist. Just reaching back. Inhale, arms up towards the sky, vertical twist. Inhale, back to center this time. Release your hands down so you can root down and rise up, grow a little bit taller. Sense that you have that curve in your back without jutting out the floating ribs. Inhale, bring your arms up and twist to the other side. Rooting down, lifting those back ribs. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, come up again. Exhale, hands to the earth. And a little sway from side to side. Good, and then walk it back. So a little stretch for the wrist. You can just hold onto a finger and let everything else move. Do a quick hold onto the finger, hold onto a finger, opening up the wrist. Good, take the thumb, wiggle the rest. Index finger, wiggle, pulling apart. Good. And then just work those wrists, draw circles. And then flick out. And then stop sign, pulling the fingers back towards the ears. And then curl the fingers under and draw the knuckles towards the back of your space. Fingers up towards the ears, pulling the fingernails towards the ears. Straight arm, push away through the heel of the hand. Curl the fingers under and turn the knuckles back. Good. Shake that out. Roll the shoulders. Let's do one at a time. Working that range of motion. Now we'll come into a round of Kapalabhati just to warm up the body. Cleanse the respiratory system. Inhale. It's a forced exhale. Feel the navel draw in and back. You can see from the side, my navel. See how I maintain the curve in my spine. Easier done with that blanket underneath you. Continue with your Kapalabhati. You should start to feel the abdominals heating up. Good, take a deep breath in, arms up overhead. And exhale. Good, let's come to hands and knees. Move my blanket out of the way. Inhale, arch. Exhale, draw your navel in and up. Inhale, arch. Exhale, navel in and up. Inhale, arch. And exhale, pull your navel in and up. Find your neutral spine. Take your right leg out. We're going to pull it into the left elbow and the right, left and the right. So little pulses here, into the left, out to the right, in and out, in and out. And then take a big circle with that right hip, warming up the core and the hips. Change the direction. Keep your spine steady here. Hold your core tight. Good. And then just slide that right knee forward and left leg back to come into swan pose. If it's comfortable, you can have your hands on blocks. You could even reach your hands up towards the sky, getting a stretch in front of the left hip. Pull your navel back. And then exhale. Come back to your hands and knees. Press the floor away. Squish the palm down so you get that index finger knuckle to root. And then take the left knee, right elbow, left. Left, right, left, right. So working the core here while trying to stay stable through the back. Getting a little bit of swing in the hips, motion in the hips. And then we're going to take that motion a little bit bigger, circling. So this is core work here. Make sure you're staying stable, change direction. Keeping the spine nice and steady as you warm up the hips. Big circle. And then just pull that left knee forward, slide your right leg back, and any amount stretch. So the knees are, and the toes are like on two lines, two parallel lines, unlike pigeon. So we're just stretching the front of the right hip. You want to try reaching the arms up. Hold and breathe. And then hands come back to the floor. Let's do a little hinge now for the upper body, forward and back. So into your chaturanga and back into child's. Forward into chaturanga, back into child's pose. Forward, chaturanga. And just come down as far, doesn't have to be all the way, as you feel comfortable. If you want to add a little bit to that, feel free to lift one leg as you lower down. The left leg can lift, right leg, and left. And then hold it back. Take that stretch, pull your navel in, stretch your back body, lift your armpits, deep breath in. Next, we'll come into downward facing dog. Hinge forward, press the root of the fingers down and send the hips up. Bend your knees, focus on long spine, long neutral spine. Hug the front ribs in. Feel free to start pedaling those knees, rolling through the foot all the way up onto the tippy toes and dropping that heel back as far as you can. Widen the shoulder blades on the back, turning the armpits towards each other. Good, and then walk your feet up towards your hands. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Sweep your arms around and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, bring your arms around and up. Vertical twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Vertical twist to the left. Doing this again, we're going to have that vertical twist, but this time let your right hand land on the sacrum and take the left hand up towards the sky. Standing back bend. Good, with a rotation. Good, it's vertical twist. Left hand to the sacrum, lifting up, right hand up. Still working through our mobility. Come back to center. Drop into chair pose. Inhale, arms up and back. Chair pose, hug your navel in. So important to keep your front ribs pulling in as you draw back into your back bend. One more time. Standing back bend. And release your hands down. Step your left foot across, can bend both knees and just send that right hip over to the right. Good. Bring it back up. Cross your right foot over the left, bend both knees, send the left hip over to the left. Let's try it with a reach. So step your left foot across, reach the right arm over to the left, and now the left hand, reach it over to the right. Just one more time here, opening up the outer hips, the abductors. Breathe in, inhale, and other side. Breathe in, and come back to center. Circle the arms around and up. Exhale, come into chair pose. Hold in chair pose. Squeeze your knees together, heels are apart, armpits back. Let's take a little exhale to hug your ribs in and scoop the lower belly in, and inhale to lift the heart a little bit higher. But exhale, dive down to the earth. Inhale and lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Big step back with your right leg. Lower your right knee down towards the earth and inhale, rise up. Hands to the earth, straighten the back leg. You can lower it again or inhale, come up into high lunge. This time fold, lift up through the right hip and curl that left sitting bone under. Hug your navel in. Hold and breathe. Hands to the earth. Step back, downward facing dog. Hug your ribs in, forward into plank pose. Back to downward facing dog. This time, snake it, lift your navel up, look towards your belly button, round through the upper back, and come into plank pose. From here, lower your knees, draw your heart forward, elbows back. Inhale, root through the pinky toe. Exhale, lower. Inhale, root through the pinky toe. So you feel the inner spiral of the back legs. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Let's take the hands wide, fingertips, so that the elbows are over the wrists. Look back towards the left heel. Look back towards the right. Push into the fingertips. So if you pull the pinky and the thumb towards each other, you feel that strengthening of the carpal tunnel area. Important in our weight-bearing poses on the hands. But side to side. Good, and then find your strength by letting those arms float up, rooting down so the knees lift up off the floor. Send the navel in to turn your pelvis so that it's slightly tucking under, and inhale, hold and breathe. A little bit of rotation in the shoulder, take the fingers down, take the elbows down. Fingers, elbows, fingers, elbows, fingers, elbows, fingers down. Try not to break at the wrist. 3, 2, and 1. Slide your hands back. Hug your navel in. Take a little pause in child's pose. Hug your belly. Inhale, come forward. Curl your toes, come back. Downward facing dog. Let your neck be long, look right and left. Take your right leg high up towards the sky, keeping long through the left side body. Suck those floating ribs in. Big step forward with the right foot. Lower the knee. Inhale and rise. Contract the left glute, opening up the left hip. Exhale, hands to the earth. You can come right back into the low lunge or come up into high lunge. Inhale. Can also have a soft bend in the back knee while we're starting to open up the front of the hip flexors. Navel in, tailbone down, shoulders away from the ear. Energy through the arms like you're squeezing a block between your hands. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step your left foot up towards the right. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Sweep your arms around and up. Exhale into chair pose. Arms forward. Hug your ribs in. Vertical twist in chair pose, right hand back. Inhale, bring it back to center. Left hand back, vertical twist. You can always do these vertical twists up as opposed to the deeper twist, which is elbow to the knee, which we'll do now on the right side, left elbow to the right knee, or your vertical twist. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, pull it, navel in, stretch the hips back, and twist to the other side as you exhale. Good, inhale, lift, hands to the earth. Lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Big step back with your left leg. Let's bend both knees and straighten. Warming up again through the knees and the hips. And the hamstring. Bend and straighten. And then hold the right knee bent, left leg straight, right hand up towards the sky. Spiral those shoulder blades down towards the middle of the back. And then release that right hand to the floor. Anchor your back heel, cartwheel up into warrior two pose. Hold and breathe. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Feel the outer edge of the heel pulling towards each other. The pelvic floor lifting. That lift of the right inner thigh, the front leg, inner thigh. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Spin your back toes. Come into downward facing dog and forward into plank pose. Hold it here. You can do this from the knees or from the toes. Notice that the roots of the fingers are pressing down. Fingernails point straight to the ceiling, not off to the side of your mat. Lower your knees, hug your elbows. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower. Lift with the back of the skull, not the chin. Exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Slide your arms forward, full prostration. Lift your inner thighs and just hold the legs up. So fingers are on the floor, pull yourself forward, shoulder blades on the back, inner thighs lift. Try to lengthen the back of the heels away from you as you lift the legs. Now let the toes come down, press them down so the knees lift, and you can lift one hand or both hands up towards the sky. Hold and breathe. A little harder to breathe here. This is where we breathe wide, because the navel's lifting. You breathe wide into the side ribs and into the back body. Let's slide your hands back, hug your navel in, and press back into downward facing dog. Bend your right knee, bend your left. Right knee and left leg up high. Step it to the left thumb and bend and straighten. Left leg straightens, and then hold. Left leg bends, right leg straight. Scissor the legs towards each other. See if you can pick the belly button away from that left leg, and then come into revolved twist. This hip wants to roll out to the side of your mat. Keep pulling it back. Hold and breathe. Shoulders roll away from the ears so the neck is long. And then release that hand to the floor. Look towards the back heel. Anchor it. Heel to arch. Cartwheel up. Lift the left side of the waist. Drop the right hip down. Hold and breathe. Lift through the crown of the head. So you root down and feel the spine growing from the pelvic floor up through the back of the neck. Keep your hips rounded and square as you lift that left arm up and back, reverse warrior. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Spin that right heel up and step it up towards the left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Sweep your arms around and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms around and up. Let's come back into chair pose. Hold and breathe. Bring your hands back in an airplane. And then float the heels up off the floor. Hold and balance. Hands back in airplane. Lift the heels up. Hold and balance. Navel hugs in. One more time. Take it back. Lift up onto the toes. Your heels stay lifted here. Hold and breathe. Root down evenly through the 10 toes. Hollow your lower belly. Exhale, dive forward. You can stay up on the toes and then lower those toes down, but still keeping a little bit more weight in the toes than the heels here. Heels are on the floor. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's step back to warrior one pose, right leg back. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. You're gonna do this sideways. Warrior one. Exhale, airplane, your warrior one. Inhale, come back into warrior, arms up towards the sky. Pull your navel back. Airplane your arms in warrior. Good. Inhale, come up. Can do that one more time, or even float the back leg up for a warrior three pose. Try to lift that right inner thigh. Hold and breathe. Back to warrior one, arms up high. Hands to the hips, straighten the front leg, elbows back. Come down as far as you're comfortable in Parsvottanasana, stretching the back of the left leg. Now if you have blocks here, blocks come in handy. Hands to the floor, revolve triangle pose. Left hand up towards the sky. Keep pulling the left hip back. Root down through the left big toe mount. And release. Hand to the ear, soften the bend. Back to downward facing dog. Hold and breathe here. Forward into plank pose. Hold for your inhale. Exhale, pressing back through the heels. Lift those upper inner thighs up towards the sky. Hug your navel in. Either from the knees or from the toes, lower down. Inhale. Baby cobra. Exhale. Inhale, feel free to come up a little bit higher, even into upward facing dog. Exhale, lower. One more time, back bend of your choice. Make sure those pinky toes are on the floor. Exhale, lower. Press up and back into child's pose. Bring your shoulders over the wrist, curl your toes, and come into downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. Back of the neck long. You can look toward your navel. Right leg high. Step your right foot towards the right thumb. Anchor the back heel, come into warrior one pose. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, airplane your arms. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, airplane your arms. Inhale, warrior one. Ground through the front foot, strong through the abdominals. You can come back into that airplane or lift the back heel and float up to warrior three. Option to bring your arms straight forward. Just notice if you came into this more challenging pose, which side is harder. Gently release back into your warrior one pose. Hands to the hips, straighten the front leg to comfortably feel a gentle stretch in the back of the right leg. Variation of Parsvottanasana. You can walk your hands down towards blocks or to the floor. Hug your navel in. And then release. Step your left foot up towards your right. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Flat back. Coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more time, circle the arms around the neck. Exhale, chair pose. Bring the arms forward. Hold and breathe here. Lift the right knee up. Step it back into your lunge, high lunge. So right leg back. Exhale, bring your hands to the earth. Kick your right leg up towards the sky, standing stick. Lower back down into high lunge. Vertical twist to the left. Arms back to center. And come into your warrior two, spinning the back heel. Hold for a moment, press your palms down while you lift the chest. Turn this way. Inhale, spin your arms and come into goddess pose. Lift your inner thighs, root through the foot. Feel the big toe mound rooting and pulling back towards the inner ankle, but lift those inner thighs. Take a moment, hold your hands inside of the knees, pressing back, lifting up to lower your seat just a little bit here. Inhale, float your arms. Let's do a little rinse from the shoulder joint. So rotate, full range of motion, side to side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms up towards the sky. Squeeze an imaginary block. Peel the right heel up off the floor and lower it down. Peel your left heel up off the floor and lower it down. Peel your right heel up and lower. Left heel up and lower. Both heels up and hold. But lower down. Star pose, inhale. Circle your arms back towards the hips, toes in front of the heels, and come into Parsvottanasana. Brain fart. Just forward fold, wide leg forward fold. Fan pose. Hold and breathe. Let's come up onto the fingertips and turn your toes out. Maybe walk them a little bit wider. Just lunge deep into that left thigh. And back to center. Lunge deep into the right thigh. Take Skandasana towards the right leg, left leg bending, maybe dropping that hip towards the floor. And then you can use the floor or not and come to the other side for Skandasana. Kick the heels into the floor, come back to center, toes in front of the heels, hands to the hips, lever up. Good, so let's spin that right toe back in. Warrior one, hands to the earth. Downward facing dog. Hinge forward into plank pose. Hold and breathe. Upper inner thighs lift, navel lifts. Even the heart draws up in between the shoulder blades as you pull back with the hands and the heels. Lower down, chaturanga, maybe into up dog. And exhale, down dog. Press into the fingertips to grip the floor. Maybe taking a little walk or a hop up towards your hands. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Drop your seat. Low chair. Lower down, airplane your arms. Inhale, lift your heels. Lower down, drop your hips, arms behind you, and lift. See if you can have even weight on all 10 toes, not more on one side than the other. Drop down and inhale. This time slowly start to straighten the legs. You're on your tippy toes. Hold the balance and release. Inhale, arms around and up. Drop your seat. Come up to balance, left knee rises. Step back into warrior one. Hold it and breathe, navel in. Good, exhale, release your hands to the floor. Straighten that back leg, coming into your lunge pose. Inhale, arms come back. Vertical twist. And then cartwheel your hands. So you're on warrior two on the opposite side. Left leg back. Left leg straight, right leg bent. Sitting bones reaching down towards the floor, a little bit wide. Frontal hip points draw towards each other. That's that widening of the pelvis so we don't compress through the sacrum. Let's hold and breathe. Lift the navel. Lift the arches of the feet and feel how that lifts right through center. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, come into goddess pose. Lower down. Good, hold and breathe. Roll your right heel up off the floor and lower. Left heel up off the floor and lower. Both heels up and hold. Stretch your arms high. Good, release heels and arms. Inhale up into star pose. Hands to the hips. Turn your toes forward. Lower down. Prasarita Padottanasana. Maybe grabbing your big toes, pulling your elbows up and your head down. Good, and then let's root through the hands. Center the right hand underneath your face and take your left hand up towards the sky. Push, push, push. Push the floor away. Reach, reach, reach. Like you're trying to screw a light bulb that's on the ceiling. And then switch sides. Left hand in front of the face, right hand up towards the sky. Hold and breathe. And release. Good, hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up. One more time, turn the toes out. Lower your hips. Inhale, bring your arms out. Let's take Garuda arms, right hand under, left hand under, over. Press the palms together. Draw your shoulders back. Imagine your head and upper back and sacrum are against a wall here, and reach your inner knee up towards the sky. Lift your elbows. Let's just draw a little circle with the elbows. We'll just do one circle in one direction, and then one circle in the other. Lift up high, release, inhale, star pose. Exhale, goddess. Arms out wide. Left hand under the right. Hold and breathe, squeeze your elbows in. So it's the resistance of the elbows drawing into each other that helps to draw the shoulder blades down the back. Draw a circle up, over, down, to the left, to the sky. Change direction while you're working the legs. Don't forget about how hard the legs are working here. Good. And inhale, release. Come back into your warrior two pose. Cartwheel your hands down towards the earth. Plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, a little back bend. Exhale and lower. Maybe taking your hands to bind behind your back for Shalabhasana. Inner thighs lift. Hold and breathe. Lengthen the back of the skull off the upper back. Continue to rotate the inner thighs up. See if you can lift the hands a little bit higher. Breathe deep. Inhale. It's like Miami Vice all of a sudden. And exhale. Good, and release. Hands to the base of the rib cage. Press up and back. And just see what happened here. Take a child's pose. Take a moment to rest. Okay, there we go. Press back up to hands and knees. Let's do a little cat-cow, arch, flex, arch, and flex. So let's lower the elbows down towards the floor. Just press your palm down as firmly as you can. Lift your ribs, and then palms down, palms towards the sky. Rotate. Just notice that action. Press all fingernails down. Press the palms down and through the fingers. Try to work that internal rotation of the forearm, which you need for your headstand, your forearm stands. Flip again, flip the palms. Sorry, got a tickle in my throat there. Good, and then root down through the hand. Let's curl the toes, hug your navel in. Come into dolphin pose. Keep pressing down through the palms and the forearms. Feel the armpits deepen as you root down through the elbows. Lift the ribs up towards the sky, towards the hips. Feel free to walk a little bit closer, maybe taking one leg up at a time. If you're comfortable, you can try some little hops. And then we'll all walk out into a forearm plank. So from the knees or from the toes, hold it here, hug your navel in, inner thighs lift. Quads are super strong, glutes are strong. Press the floor away. Lift the front of the heart into the back of the heart. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Lower down into Sphinx. You can walk your elbows a little bit further forward. Take a breath. Relax. Let's do one more back extension. This time we'll let our forehead rest on the backs of our hands. Float the elbows up. Try to stretch the back body. So of course the front body is going to get a stretch, but I also want you to think about lengthening the back body. So long through the lower back, long through the upper back. Lift your elbows a little bit higher. Lift those inner thighs, inner ankles. Hold and breathe for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release down crocodile, bend the knees, and windshield wiper from side to side. You can walk those legs together, reach around for the ankle and just hold here, or root down through the pubic bone. Continue to lift those inner thighs and come into bow pose. Roll the shoulders back to find that thoracic extension. Breathe your heart forward, lengthen your tail back. Inner thighs lift. Good, and release. Hands to the earth. We're not coming back into child's pose. We're going to take our legs wide into frog pose. So feet are out towards the side, elbows to the floor. Hold and breathe. I want you to try, if you want, a variation here to go deeper into the inner thighs. So you see the knees are wide, the toes are pointing out, and just stretch your right leg. See if you can bring it a little bit closer towards your head and press your heel out and away from you. This is optional, just going deeper into that stretch. Inner thighs. Press down into the earth so you feel a lift, tailbone lengthening, and then lean more weight into the hands to change onto the other side, unless of course you want to come into that full straddle split. Hold and breathe. Press down. Try to walk your heel so it's in line with the hip, head of the hip. Good, and then bring it back. Walk your knees underneath your hips, hands to the earth. Inhale, arch, and exhale, draw your navel in. Inhale, arch, curl your toes, press up, downward facing dog. Let's come into pigeon pose, right leg up towards the sky, open up. If you want, spin on that back ankle. Coming into flip your dog pose. If you have the space, spin back. The right leg is high, right knee to the right wrist. Can hover for a moment. Right leg back. Maybe a chaturanga arm, right knee out towards the side, and bring it back. And then right knee will place it behind the right wrist. Feel free to add a prop of something underneath your right hip for pigeon pose. Keeping the right foot flexed. So try not to get toenails to the floor, but the outer edge of the foot to the floor. And hold and breathe in your pigeon pose. This is the right hip back. So the frontal hip points draw in towards each other. Left inner thigh is lifting. And root down into the earth. The outer edge of the right leg roots down, the navel lifts up. You can either have your head down, or if you prefer getting that stretch in the back leg as well. Just notice where the stretch feels best for you and hold and breathe. Good. One more deep breath here. And you can, of course, feel free to stay in any of the poses longer since you're at home, or always, really, anytime you want. I'll move my prop off to the side and come back into downward facing dog. So any of the flip your dogs, feel free to skip those, of course. Going to bring your left leg up towards the sky. This can be done from hands and knees in. I'll show the modified on the side. Leg back, out, and back. Chaturanga arm. Good. And back into open your hip. 3-point pose, maybe spinning on the back heel. Left arm up towards the sky, back behind you. Push your right hand into the floor. Lift everything that you can away from the floor. And then release back into your dog pose. Left leg high. Left knee towards the left wrist. Walk your right leg back. Find your prop if you need underneath your left hip. Got my blanket rolled up so I can do a little bit better job squaring my left shin towards the front of the mat. Doesn't have to be square, more than likely it won't be square. And either onto your elbows or staying up on your hands. Roll your right inner thigh up, root down through the foot, and make sure you can keep a flexion in the left ankle. Hold and breathe. Guys are hanging in there, good job. I'm gonna feel all stretched and open. A little bit stronger, a little bit longer. Hold and breathe. Good. From here, we're just gonna swing that back leg around towards the front. Come back into a cross-legged seat. If you want to sit on a blanket, you can. Actually, we're gonna come down onto the floor. Just see the time. So hands behind your knees and roll down onto your back. Hug your knees in towards the chest. And then press the knees away. Hug your knees in. Just notice what's happening with the pelvis and the lower back. Really what makes yoga different than other exercises is the awareness that we bring to the movement. So feel the back flatten. Feel the back arch. Now bring your legs into a tabletop position. Use your hands, press the legs away and pull the legs in towards you. I'm just going to hold this isometric, trying to draw your navel down and towards the floor. Looks like I'm doing nothing, but I am working very hard. Hold and breathe. Keep pulling your navel in. Now see if you can maintain. There's a I'm in a neutral spine, so that means there's a little bit of tiny space underneath my lower back. But if you need to pull your navel all the way down, you can do that. I'm going to start to pedal the feet here, continuing that push. So that movement is just coming from the movement of the femur bones. The pelvis is staying steady. Navel's pulling in. Breathe wide into the back body. 2 and 1. Hold. Hug your navel in. Good, and release. Knees in towards the chest. Good, so just a little bit of that core work. Let's bring our hands to the floor. Feel free to hold on to your mat and scissor the legs. So work your full range of motion. If you can do a split here, see if you can use the strength of the legs to open while we keep the core steady. So work that end range of motion. So you're not pulling, you're using your reciprocal muscles to find that length. Good, now hold your right leg in towards you, interlace your hands, press the leg away from you to lengthen your right side body. So feel free to hold behind the knee, behind the thigh, rather than up over the calf. Circle the right ankle. And then bend the knee, slide your right knee in, arms out wide, and take that left knee down with using that right leg down towards the left. Hold and breathe, stretch your left arm overhead. Big breaths, lengthen your left side. Use the right heel to pull the left hip away from the left armpit. Use the exhale to do the same thing. Now unslide the right heel up. Just roll a little bit more over onto your right side and take that left heel, pull it in towards the glute, pelvic tilt, flex the foot. Notice my knee is not high, it's level with the hip. Roll back onto your back. Hug your knees in. You can hold on to the mat. This time let both legs come down at once, pulling your navel in. Bend the knees and roll back in. Exhale. Maybe coming a little bit lower. And back in. Lower. And back in. Option to just shift the knees out and in. And when you shift out, the pelvis doesn't rotate forward, so you don't arch as the toes reach away from you, either with the legs straight or with the toes reaching out. Good. From here, before we come to that stretch on the other side, just hold at 45 degrees. Working in the obliques, come back to center. Hold at 45 degrees. Exhale, pull the ribs down to the floor, the waist down to the floor to come back. Knees towards the right. First the ribs pull down on the left side, then the waist. Take it over to the left. Pull the ribs down, then the waist. Over to the right. Pull the left ribs down, and then the waist. Hug your knees in. Scissor the legs. Hold on behind the left leg. Stretch the right heel out. Kick your leg into the left hands, to the hands. Left leg into the hands. Circle the left ankle. We're running out of time. We're almost finished here. Slide the right knee in. Cross the left ankle over the right knee and pull it down towards the side. Stretch your right arm overhead, big stretch through that right side of the waist. Navel in. Inhale a little bit longer, reach through the right arm. A little bit as you exhale, pulling that whole pelvis away from the right side body. Just hold and breathe. Good, and uncross the legs. Roll over onto your left side, grab for the ankle, pelvic tilt. Hold, roll that right shoulder away from the ear. Flex the right foot. And then come back onto your back. Just rock the pelvis forward and back. Align the spine. Balance weight on the hips and the shoulders. You can walk the rib cage away from the pelvis. And let's shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Open and close, fingers and toes. Shift the bottom jaw from side to side. One more shake and release. Final resting pose. If you've got that blanket or pillow, rest it over your belly. Snuggle your shoulder blades a little bit closer together to widen the collarbones. Deep breath in. Exhale. Surrender. Allow for that space between the eyebrows to smooth and become wider. Continue to relax each part of the body. Just turn this off. Feel the rise and fall of the belly. Still in Shavasana, just allowing everything to surrender. Just notice how you feel. Pay attention. The most important skill that we get from our yoga practice is honoring where our attention is in each moment. The more we can hold our attention on hope, on strength, on what we want more of, the more we will feel those benefits in our lives. Focus on good health, you'll receive good health. Focus on negativity and you will have that manifest. Let's gently begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently walk your feet in towards you. And then roll over onto your right side. And slowly make your way back to a seated position with your eyes remaining closed. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. See if your inhale, you can feel like you have a little bit more space to take a full breath in. And exhale. One more deep breath in. Exhale, bring your hands together in front of the heart. Bow your chin to your chest. We seal our practice in gratitude for holding our attention to light, love, and peace. It was my honor to teach you. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Thank you, guys. Hold on a second. I just want to pause.